See what happens. What's the worst thing that could happen?
Oh, we get lost. We're still in the city. Welcome to On the Move with Brisbane BMW and Steve Healey. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Anthony. Pleasure to be here.
And great to have you too. Steve's one of Brisbane's leading tax professionals, and not to mention one of our long-standing clients here at Brisbane BMW, and a Mad M fan. As some of you may be aware, we've had some successful business breakfasts of recent months. And our first was our Rugby World Cup breakfast with Stephen Moore. We then had our Females of the Future breakfast with some of Brisbane's most successful women in leadership. And today we had planned to have our end of financial year breakfast with some Q&As with Steve to talk about some of those issues we're facing in business today. Unfortunately with COVID, that wasn't possible. So we thought we'd bring our breakfast to you. So Steve, should we go for a drive?
I think that's a fantastic idea, Anthony.
What car would you like to drive, Steve?
You said I'm a Mad M fan, 100% correct, so it has to be an M.
I reckon the new X5M. Let's go. You'll love this, Steve.
That's very cool.
Beautiful sound, isn't it? Love it. Great sound. And now, M mode is in the centre console. We get the M mode, different dash.
Very cool indeed.
And let's put her in her M2 as well. Let's go. So comfortable there, mate?
I am pretty comfortable. Thanks, Anthony. I'm loving this.
Yeah, they're a beautiful car. So Steve, you've been a tax professional for some time. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking. Look, I've been doing tax and business advisory services and work for around 27 years or just over. At the moment, I'm working with a fantastic bunch of people at RSM in Brisbane. We're building our brand in the Brisbane market very successfully. And of course, my focus, I'm a tax guy, always will be, is to build the tax brand for our business here in Brisbane.
Steve, I've noticed that since the end of April, we've had a real positive start to May, and I think there's a lot more activity in the city. And I've noticed, obviously my office is in Ann Street, and I've noticed the traffic going up Ann Street now is increased, tenfold. And I noticed a lot more activity in the marketplace. We're getting a lot more inquiry, and things do seem to be really positive. Have you seen the same?
Yeah, that's a really good point, Anthony, and I think we are starting to see that. Look, I've always been a glass half full kind of a guy, and I think it's really important to be optimistic in the kind of times that we've been in, and we are still in. The challenges that we all face, both in business and personally, from the pandemic are quite extraordinary. But I think it would be very easy to kind of become that glass half empty person.
Yeah,
but so important when we face challenges, and this is what we're seeing with our clients, with our own businesses, we also see enormous opportunities. Opportunities from, doing things differently, embracing change, and really, focusing on those opportunities to drive things forward going, post pandemic.
We had a period where customers didn't come to us, so we had to go to our customers. We've given online more opportunity to buy cars, view cars, virtual test drives, contactless test drives at home. So we've made some of those changes in our business, which have been really good through these times.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, so you're embracing the challenge and you're finding the opportunities out there. On the other side, again, I can't resist, talking tax. That's what I do.
Of course.
But I think some of the opportunities that are out there for business, that are really driven by the government stimulus measures, as well as things like JobKeeper and cash flow boost. When we've got the instant asset write-off, the increase in the threshold to 150,000 is really welcome news, as well as the increase of accelerated depreciation for assets costing above that as well. They're really welcome measures, I think, and they're going to help businesses going forward immensely.
So Steve, with end of financial year approaching, any other advice you might have for small, medium businesses?
So look, at the end of the day, it's all about bringing forward deductible expenditure and deferring revenue and gains where you legitimately can do. For example, if a business was looking at divesting a part of its business or an asset out of its business and looking at generating a gain from that, you might want to defer that to post 30 June. On the other hand, if there was a loss that was going to be made, you might want to bring that one forward. So look, they're the basic things at a business level. Personal level, we've got to look at things like make sure you make your superannuation contributions on or before the 30th of June. And your donations, of course, to your charities of choice. Make sure that happens before the 30th of June. So there are a couple of things, but I think it's business as usual as far as your standard end of year financial year tax planning goes.
Yeah. And there's a lot of talk in the marketplace at the moment about instant asset write-off. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, really good question. And yet another measure that the government has introduced as a stimulus to the economy, a very good one, if I might say so. What it basically means is that for a small and a medium business, they can acquire an asset that costs under $150,000 or up to that level and write that asset off in the current financial year, provided it's used first or installed ready for use between the 12th of March and the 30th of June this year.
And us being in the premium segment, we've got obviously luxury car tax, so there's some conditions around that as well, is there?
There's a luxury limit when it comes to luxury car limit when it comes to tax depreciation, as you know. $57,581 is that magic number. But the good news is under that instant asset write-off, it allows you, if the car is used, say 100% for business purposes, to claim that in its entirety in the current financial year. Again, provided it's first used before the 30th of June and after the 12th of March.
So what you're saying, Steve, great time to buy a car.
I guess I am saying that, Anthony. It's a very good time to buy a car.
Steve, some great insights today. I thank you for all your time. We'll have a link on the bottom of this, so anyone's got any questions, I'm sure you'd be happy to reply.
Absolutely.
Great seeing you, Steve.
You too,
Thanks
mate.
for all your time.
Absolute pleasure.